The bottom line is that he has to make a serious run, as Heather said. First round knockout, I'd fire him on the field before he gets to the midfield. I still think he probably ought to go. This guy has been a very good coach. He's 66-10, but when you lose to your rival every single year, 4 straight, so we're talking about 3 revenge games, and the same result happens, especially this year. It's time to start packing.
A few moments later.
If you put him in a position where you know that it really just depends on his ability to recruit and he brings that sizzle, you're thinking about he pays for himself. It's like Shohei Ohtani to a lesser degree. Goes to the Dodgers. He pays for himself. He gets $70 million a year. But he pays for himself because his popularity is so huge. That's what you're looking for if you're Ohio State. Right. Ryan Day does not do that for you. He's going this way. Okay. They want somebody that's going this way.
Say that again.
If you're Ohio State, Ryan Day does not do that for you. He's going this way. They want somebody that's going this way.
Ohio State fans, stand up and roast these Ohio State haters, especially towards Paul Finebaum, Stephen A. Smith, and others. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about how Ohio State haters are in shambles with their Ryan Day takes. Once again, Ohio State had another dominating victory in the college football playoff. This time, though, it came against the number 1 seed and Oregon as they beat them down by the score of 41-21. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Was it surprising to see Ohio State destroy Oregon in the Rose Bowl game? No, not really. I'm not going to say that this was supposed to be a blowout win for Ohio State, but I totally expected Ohio State to come out of this game victorious. When I watched that Ohio State-Oregon game in the first half, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, if Ohio State really wants this so bad, they're going to score 70-plus points on Oregon. Of course, they only ended up scoring 41 points in the game, but let's be real here. Ohio State stopped playing in the second half. They were just playing to conserve the lead and to get out of the game as fast as possible. If Ohio State really wanted to blow out Oregon, they would have blown them out by a lot more than 20 points. They looked like they were a completely better football team compared to Oregon. Oregon looked rusty out there, and they did not look like an undefeated football team out there. If I told you guys during the game that Oregon had never lost a game in the regular season, you probably wouldn't have believed me. But that's exactly what happened, because Oregon did not play good whatsoever. Their offense sucked. They couldn't run the ball. They didn't try to develop the run game. And more importantly, they couldn't afford to develop the run game. When you go down 34-0 in the second quarter, there is no time to develop the run game. You have to essentially drop back on every passing play and tell Dillon, Gabriel, go ahead and win this game by yourself. Obviously, Oregon was not good enough to get the job done against Ohio State. And that's not to say that Oregon was a bad football team. Of course, Oregon deserved to make the college football playoff. Anyone that tries to discredit Oregon being the number 1 seed is beside themselves. Oregon more than deserved their number 1 seed. Unfortunately for Oregon, they didn't show up in the college football playoff, and that ultimately sucks for them. But hey, another team's disappointment is another team's treasure. That is exactly what Ohio State has been thriving off of. It is time for these shows to give credit to Ohio State where credit is due, particularly Paul Finebaum, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and others. What was the narrative for Ohio State heading into the playoffs? You need to fire Ryan Day. You need to break up this current core of Ohio State Buckeyes. They haven't really done anything in recent memory, and it's time for change. But Ohio State has come out there with a strong message in the last 2 games that we are not going to be denied of winning a national championship this season. We're going to beat down Tennessee, a team many people on the shows picked to win, including myself. I thought Tennessee was going to beat Ohio State because I thought Ohio State was a soft team. I was wrong about that. Ohio State is indeed a very tough team. Losing to Michigan was the best thing that could have happened to Ohio State because it lit a fire under the players' butts, and they have played phenomenal football since. Ohio State looks like an unstoppable juggernaut in recent weeks. Will Howard has turned himself into the next Dan Marino. That is how good Will Howard has been playing for Ohio State. I also want to show you guys this clip of Ryan Day being interviewed by Pat McAfee on College GameDay. I thought what he said about what Ohio State needed to do in the college football playoff was rather interesting, particularly because of the fact that Ohio State has played so well in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, what Ryan Day has done has worked beautifully for Ohio State. Roll the film.
What I saw from your guy, Jack Sawyer, after that Michigan game, I would have loved to have been a teammate with that guy no matter what. Can you tell me about this team that you have taking the field tonight for the last time?
There's a lot of passion.
I've seen 4 games here for the last time as Buckeyes.
There's a lot of passion with these guys, and that passion and that fire. We have our senior tackle that's been going on for over 100 years. I don't know if you remember senior tackle here at Ohio State, Coach. And it's an amazing opportunity for our seniors to get up and speak in front of the group, and just to hear the love they have for Ohio State, for their program, for their teammates, and the passion and the fire that you saw right there. Like that runs deep within this team, and so that's what coming off of that loss, you have a week to kind of identify what the issues are, get together, and then 2 weeks of unbelievable practice. But now they have an opportunity to go back in the stadium and finish it the right way, and they're going to do that.
You are correct, sir. Yes!
Good job, Ryan Day. Good job for telling the truth about what Ohio State needed to do before the college football playoff, because whatever you did, it helped the players perform at a higher level. I've been critical of Ohio State myself for the most part this year. I've been saying to myself, why hasn't Ohio State lived up to the talent that they have on their roster? But they are finally showing up come playoff time. Tennessee was viewed as a better team than Ohio State on paper because they were the SEC team, while Ohio State was the Big Ten team. Obviously, SEC bias is a real thing in mainstream media. I'm looking at you, Paul Finebaum, specifically. You said that Ryan Day needed to get fired at midfield if they lost to Tennessee in the college football playoff. Well, guess what? Tennessee was the one that got sent packing, not Ohio State. Ryan Day has proven to be a good coach in the college football playoff. He has finally unleashed the potential of this Ohio State roster. If you've been criticizing Ryan Day all year long, then you have to give him credit for how Ohio State has performed in the college football playoff, myself included. Obviously, I'm not an Ohio State hater, but there are tons of Ohio State haters out there in the mainstream media. Stephen A. Smith was begging Ohio State to fire Ryan Day in favor of Deion Sanders. Of course, that was a laughable take. It was a stupid take at the time, and it's even dumber now. Ohio State should not even be thinking about getting rid of Ryan Day. He is one of the best coaches in college football. You look at his win-loss record, he's done good in that department. I've been critical of Ryan Day for not being able to get past Michigan, but guess what? Losing to Michigan made Ohio State a better football team, and sometimes the old saying goes as this: you learn more from your losses more so than you learn from your wins, and that is exactly what Ohio State did. They lost 2 games, and obviously they used those lessons from those 2 losses in order to become a better football team. Ohio State actually lost to Oregon earlier in the season, but obviously they learned their lesson from the first time and said, we're not going to make the game close this time around. We're just going to dominate Oregon early and often. We're going to get Jeremiah Smith the football as often as possible. They understood that Jeremiah Smith might be the best receiver in college football. Obviously, Ohio State has done a great job scoring points on offense. I've been incredibly impressed as to what Ohio State has done in the college football playoff. Good job to Ryan Day for getting his guys fired up and playing great football. Those haters for Ohio State are in complete shambles right now, and I fully expect those guys to continue hating on Ohio State, but that's okay because Ohio State is going to end up becoming national champions. I can't wait to see what Ohio State haters have to say when Ohio State wins the national championship. I'm trusting them to go all the way. They are playing good football right now, and it looks like nobody is going to beat Ohio State right now. It's really that simple. So that is why it was not surprising to see Ohio State destroy Oregon in the Rose Bowl game, as they are getting red hot at the right time. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.